Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome to another live show. We're going to be talking about all of the latest transfer news regarding Chelsea Football Club and also the preview for the West Ham game as well. So there's a little bit of both, but the overriding theme for me is really the transfers, if I'm honest with you. So I've got myself and Kev on here today. Big up to everyone that is watching and locked in. Smash the like button as well if you haven't already. And Kev, we might as well just get straight into it. What have you made of this transfer window so far?
You probably there's so much words I could come up with to describe the board and how they're running the club at the moment and how they're treating us fans and the planning. But to think that we are getting rid of players on the last day. So I'm hearing Chilwell's gone to Palace. I'm hearing
We'll get into all of that, Kev. We'll get into it all. Don't worry.
yeah. There's so much transfers going out and nothing coming in. It's just I don't know what to say, bro. I'm just disgusted in the way that the planning in this window and the last window as well. The players that we're bringing in ain't lasted 6 months, bro, and they're gone. We're bringing in this guy from Argentina, centre back, and he's gone to Mark. What I just don't get what's going on at the club at the moment, brother. It's being run by a set of clowns, bro, and I'm feeling like right now as we speak, Champions League football is not in our hands right now. Even though City and Newcastle slipped up the weekend, are we going to beat West Ham tonight? It's questionable. So, yeah, I am not pleased at all with how this transfer window's gone. But who's to say they're not going to pull anything out the bag tonight? With these owners, they've always got to trick up the sleeve. So we've got to just stay in there. It's the last day. Hopefully, we can bring in something, but it's looking very unlikely.
It's a strange. I'm a bit gutted that transfer deadline day is today instead of tomorrow, for example, because obviously we've got the game, so we're going to be focused on that rather than actually what's happening behind the scenes. I'd be interested to see if Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, all the other guys, if they're actually going to be at the game today. I would be very disappointed if they were. I don't want to see them at Stamford Bridge. I want to see them. I want to see them. I don't want to see them. It's as simple as that. I don't want to see them. They should be on the phone. They should be doing whatever it is they need to do to get some of these deals across the line.
It should have taken them. Look, it's 1 p.m. and we're not the only player that we've strongly been linked with is Garnacho over the last week or so. It's 1 p.m. It shouldn't have taken them this long to try and getting players in the door. It's clear to see where we need backup. It's clear to see where we need help, and it's 1 o'clock in the day and there's nothing happening. So yeah, it's on their heads, brother. If we don't get Champions Leagues, we cannot point fingers at Enzo because he's done a fantastic job with what he's got. But you need rotation within your squad throughout the season, and we haven't got like for like players like some of the top teams have. So can we blame Enzo if we don't get Champions League? And I'm not going to point fingers.
Well, we're going to get into all of that, Kev. I do think Maresca has a part to play. And I think he has a very simple. There's only one thing he needs to do. But we're going to get into it as it is. So first thing I'm going to do, guys, if you haven't already smashed the like button, please do. We've got 60 of you at the moment. Can we get up to 50 likes on the video? Keep me posted because I can't actually see. Let's just run through the chat quickly and see what everyone's saying. Rain says, finally, you guys understand that it's all about money. DJ Fred says, big up, boys. Big up to you as well, my friend. Galamalu says, the worst since I am a Chelsea fan and this clown lake are hell-bent Tomsky. What does that even mean, Kev?
You'd have to explain to me, brother.
I got clue, but it's not good. It's not good. It
doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Rain says, we're so lucky that other teams are so bad this season. Dead in the water. Kev, I have that Hasselbank shirt.
Big up. If you know about Hasselbank, you are a legend yourself, and that's my goal. So yeah. Big up to yourself, brother.
Underdogs United says he's heartbroken about what's happened to our football club. Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate. I just want to say, guys, even though I know that it's a very negative
subject
atmosphere at the moment around the club, and I was listening to Lewis and Charlie last night. They did a show, and Lewis said if there's a mistake from Sanchez, it's going to be more toxic than we've ever seen in a number of years, which I think is a big statement coming from where we were under Potter and even last season, considering there was a massive divide under Pochettino. But the goalkeeper is becoming such a divisive figure at the moment, and the manager is part of that because he keeps picking him. I mean, my stance on it is let's see what the manager is able to do with or without the support from the board. That doesn't make the board any better or any worse. I think we can all agree they've had a very poor window. I mean, it's been really disappointing.
This one and the last one. Both windows have been poor.
I mean, we're going to break it down altogether. But yeah, it's been really underwhelming. There's a lot of decisions that just seemed obvious, and we still haven't done them. Like recalling Ugachukwu or even Andre Santos, which I would appreciate that Santos is helping Strasbourg, so I can understand him staying there. But Ugachukwu, what is he gaining out of being at Southampton when he can get game time at a better club like Chelsea? I mean, so that's one of the things I don't understand at all. I know that the new manager is very keen on Ugachukwu. He's obviously playing him a lot more than Russell Martin ever did. He never had many minutes under the old manager. But is it really beneficial for a player who wants to become a regular first-team player at a club like Chelsea to be playing for bottom of the table Southampton? Does that really benefit you when you know that there are less minutes, but there are still minutes available for you to play in a Champions League level club? I mean, I say that, but we're still asking the questions, can we get Champions League?
There'd be plenty of minutes for Ugachukwu this season. And Enzo Fernandez is just coming off an injury the last game against City. And he felt like he got rushed back. He was nowhere near it. He wasn't even in the game against City because we were having to rush him back into the game because we've got no other players to step up. Like obviously we've got KDH, which is not only recognisable centre midfielder. So we've got 3 centre midfielders. We're talking about a £1.5 billion squad, but you've got 3 centre midfielders. And one of them midfielders was in the Championship last year. So these are the standings, brother. What is happening? Where is the planning? We all know Lavia is not going to play a consistent 10 games. He can't play half an hour. So we need backup in the midfield. The manager clearly doesn't trust KDH in the big games. So we're having to rush back Enzo. And I'm having to repeat it again. Me and Louis said a couple of weeks ago, if we get an injury to Caicedo, that's it, brother. That's Caicedo gets an injury right now. Who are we going to play in the midfield? Enzo and KDH are the only players. I think there's that Raksui, whatever his name is, bro.
Raksaki,
whatever his name is, Raksaki.
He played a couple of minutes. He played against Astana, didn't he? And he was very good. But I mean that doesn't constitute him starting week in, week out.
So here we go. These are the questions. Why ain't these Paul Stanley and the board members asking these questions to themselves? Why aren't they looking at the squad thinking we need backup? If he gets injured, who are we going to replace him with? It's not like they're doing the homework. It's not like they're even looking at the squad. Like you mentioned a second ago, we've got Santos as well, who's absolutely cooking at Strasbourg. And has been probably the best centre midfielder in the league on this year. We have no loyalty to Strasbourg. I don't care about the Blue Coat group. We have no loyalties to Strasbourg. Recall him and give him minutes because we need him.
I'll be honest with you, Kev. I do understand your point. It's a fair point, but it is in Chelsea's best interest for Strasbourg to do well so that they can develop more players, which will then get moved on to Chelsea if they perform well.
But what's
if Strasbourg were to get relegated, for example, which a couple of months that was a conversation, then we would regret bringing.
I do not care about Strasbourg, bro. I don't care. This is Chelsea Football Club, bro. Yeah, I understand, but it's under the Blue Coat Brandon, let's say. But it's not important. They need to prioritise Chelsea. We are Chelsea Football Club, bro. They have got one of our best talents playing for them. So they'd rather see us slip down the table and see Strasbourg stay up. He's Strasbourg to us, bro. They need to prioritise Chelsea getting the Champions League. If you don't get Champions League this year, I can see at the end of the season getting very bad, very toxic. And I believe we've been very, very patient the last 3 years. And yes, we are seeing slight improvements, but it's stuff like this, like the last day of transfer window and the squad depth we've got at the moment, which everyone's questioning. And, everyone was getting the hopes built up saying we're in the title race. That was a load of bullshit. Champions League football, should be where we are. We are 1 point behind City, which is not bad, but we could have done a lot better with a better squad. I think we could have been, let's think about Forest, their second, third. I think we could have been closer to Arsenal if we had a better squad. So we've got to ask questions. Is it Enzo? Is it the board? And I think it's a tiny bit of both, like you're going to get onto the next part. Yeah. It's just heartbreaking, Alex. It's heartbreaking, and one win in the last 11 games. Is it one win in the Prem?
1 in 8, I think.
One in 8. So
yeah, and that is relegation form. That's the reality of it. I mean, my stance on that particular run of form is it can happen to anyone. The question is, can you bounce back? But if you've got half of your best players injured, or if you're without any depth to rotate, so if your best player did get injured, then it's difficult to see a good run coming, because if Caicedo was to come out, our season would be over because our midfield is gone. We can't operate without a top midfielder in there. It's not just that Caicedo is a top midfielder, because we know he's great, but that midfield is being asked to do an awful lot of work. You've got to cover a lot of ground and you've got to be good on the ball. And to be honest with you, Maresca said it, a couple of months ago when Fernandes scored against Leicester. He said, I need my midfielders to score more goals as well. So there's a lot of demands on that midfield, and then you want that defensive stability as well, which I had nothing against bringing Chalobah back. I do think it's stupid that we're bringing him back to then sell him. I think that's just really strange. But that was something. So why couldn't we have just done that with at least one of our other loanees, like Ogachukwu or Santos? I mean, we would have been happy with either of those. And then you're looking at bringing in a striker to help out Jackson, because he's, I didn't have a real issue with Jackson. I knew we'd have a purple patch. And I still trust Jackson. Do I think that he was as good as I thought he was when he was having his great run? No. He has shown over the past couple of games, especially against City, that even if how do I say this? In the past, when he hasn't scored, he's played really well. Against City, he did nothing. He was a horrendous player. I had a friend of mine, Brendan, who called TalkSport and complained about this Nkunku's substitution. But that was the complete opposite of what we were all thinking in the stadium. We said, well, Jackson's been crap. Why would you keep him on the pitch? And that's how dire it is, though, that you still have to substitute a player who doesn't even want to be a part of the club, who, if I'm not wrong, agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich. That deal couldn't go over the line because of whatever reason. And we're still playing him over a player like Nicholas Jackson, because the other option we have with Mark Guiu isn't even old enough to play at this level week in, week out, or he's not trusted, whatever it is. But these are all of the assets. These are the tools that Enzo Maresca has been given. He's been given these players, and it's his job to get the best out of them. And if this is the best that they can get, bear in mind we were talking about a title charge in December. That tells you that actually maybe he took these players as far as he could, and he just needs a little bit extra to push us on to the next level. There is the other side, which is we need to have better standards. Why are we even talking this way? We shouldn't even be having these conversations, but we're just saying it how we see it. And we're seeing mistakes every week. We're saying goals that should be scored that aren't being scored. And we're seeing complete lack of depth, which, if you were listening to Jamie Carragher a while ago, you would never think would be an issue, but it's actually turned out to be much worse in that sense. And if we would have kept our players fit, it wouldn't be a problem, but we haven't, and now we're in the mud.
in the mods. Yeah, we are 3 foot under. We're nearly 6 foot under. We're nearly fully buried. Oh, as well, Alex. I'm just thinking in my head right now. So I've just gone onto the socials and seen that Chilwell's agreed terms with Crystal Palace. Yeah.
Okay.
Viega's went to Juventus last week. Chilwell's going to Crystal Palace. So where's the left back depth now? So if Cucurella's to get injured, who are we going to play left back? You answer me that question, brother.
I think it will be Gusto, if that's the case.
And have we seen? So have they not seen Gusto so far playing at left back all season? Have they not seen that it doesn't work for us as a team playing? We've seen it most games. Playing a right-sided player on the left side does not work. So haven't they seen that it doesn't work? If Reece James was to pick up another injury, which is more than likely to happen, who's going to play right back if Cucurella's injured? So I'm just thinking of all the equations here. Bisassi is meant to be going out on loan, so that's your right back cover, which is a bozo anyway at right back. I'm just thinking of all these equations in my head. We're loaning players out left, right, and centre, and we're not signing anybody to replace them, brother. And we're having to play players at position. So how is this making sense, brother?
Well, that's why this whole window is about money, because if you were looking at from the financial standpoint, you wouldn't actually complain about a lot of these deals, because from a financial perspective, the Vega loan is very good for Chelsea, because that's what a third of what we paid for him just on the loan fee. So that's quite good business in that sense. It's profitable. But then you just spoke about having depth at left back. Where does that leave us from a football standpoint? Then you say the same thing about Ben Chilwell. It's a similar situation to Marcus Rashford at United, where he's not going to get any minutes under Amram. So you might as well cut off his wages in that sense. So I don't really have as much of a problem with that deal. I don't think that Chilwell would have had a future under many managers at this moment. So I don't think that's just a Maresca problem. Just 1 second, Kev. So that's 50% of his wages gone. But then there's so much focus on who's leaving. But that's the complete opposite of what we're looking for. We're looking for players to come in, and you've got all these other clubs scrambling. You've got Aston Villa making signing after signing, being linked with all these different players, pushing up every single team trying to compete. City spending over 100 million. Maybe even 150, I can't remember. And we're fighting with these guys for top four. And we are at a loss in terms of what we're bringing in. We haven't even had the decency to spend a penny. And that, for me, is the most embarrassing thing, is that I appreciate the business we did in January, 2 seasons ago. That looked ambitious, but we all know why we did it. It was because of the financial rules that were going to come into place later down the line. So we knew if we spent all that money straight away at that point, we wouldn't be punished like we would have if we did that a year later. And now we're just treading so carefully. We look fragile, Kev. We look scared. Why would you be scared to do business? What is the problem here? I mean, is this coming from just the sporting directors? I don't know if it's their incompetence. Is it the ownership saying, listen, you haven't got any money to spend? I really don't know. I'm a bit lost, to be honest with you, Kev.
I think it's a bit of both. When you consider these board guys and these directors, I come from Brighton, bro. The Brighton boys. So these are the standards we are dealing with, and it's been run like this. Put it like this: the club has been run like Brighton at the minute, bro. It's been run, like you said, as a profitable organisation. There is no drive for us to be winning trophies. They are not bothered. It seems to me they are. If we were bothered, we would have gone out and it would have proved to us fans and proved to everyone else that we are serious contenders. We are not far away from second place. We could push on, but it's now the last day of the transfer window, and they are proving that it's not about that. They are proving it's about money. It's been run like a profitable. Get a player for this price, sell them on. Look at Cesar Casadi, the Italian.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one.
Like We bought it for what, £5 million, sold him on
No,
for
we spent about
5 or 6.
No, about 12 or 13 million, Kev, and we
He went for
basically got rid
17.
of them for the same amount. But the reason we can make money on that deal is because of the 25% resale clause. So if they sell them again, we'll get 25% of that money. But if they don't sell them, we don't really make any money off of it.
So profit. That's what it is. And I just have no trust. I have no belief that we are going to sign the players that we deserve to be seen. We don't need mid players coming in, bro. Like the Nachos and these players we're linked with. I don't see, we could put that £65 million if we were going to get him into pushing on getting a guy Corres, someone who is going to put the ball in the back of the net week in, week out. But I have no trust. Growing up under the Roman Abramovich area, I had trust that we'd go and get the best. But with these board members now, it's either get a youth player in, loan them out, bring them back in, sell them on. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's a repetitive pattern, which has been happening for the last 3 years, and it's going to continue, brother. This is it now.
Let's go back to this comment here from Gan Galamu. So he says, what are we going to do? As this is the third year and we're heading anti-clockwise, what can we do collectively to change our course and bring our team to where we deserve and belong?
Protest. That's it. If we don't get Champions League, look, this is Chelsea Football Club, yeah. Champions League football is the bare minimum required. We should be challenging for the league. This season has been awful. Nottingham Forest, a killing team 7-0, a team that we struggled to beat in Brighton. Nottingham Forest put 7 past them. This is how poor the league is at the moment. If we had a good squad and a bit of consistency, I reckon we'd be close. We'd be challenging for the league. But we slipped off. But we are 6th place. Champions League football is the minimum required this year. If we don't get Champions League football, it's time to change the model, brother. We've got to make it known. That's the only way. This is the only way it's going to change now. It's either that or we're going to continue to see the same repetitive patterns each transfer window. That's it. There's no other way to change it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this is the table right now. So this is where we are. We went from eyeing up Liverpool, praying. I remember when they played Fulham, and I think they drew that game 2-2 at Anfield. Celebrating that draw, thinking, "My God, we're picking up points
from
Liverpool."
We could have gone top against Everton. Against Everton, we could have gone top. I remember that weekend.
There you go. And now we're in a position where, I mean, I'm not going to. I'd say that Fulham are probably out of the picture, but we are competing against. We've gone from competing up here at the top of the table against Liverpool to having a dogfight for top 4 with Aston Villa, Bournemouth, who are playing fantastic football this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs sacked Postecoglou and brought in Iriola. To be honest with you, I think that would make sense. Newcastle, Man City, we've got bloody Nottingham Forest up there. It's such a weird season.
Wow,
but that is our reality at the moment, Kev. And although we can't embrace it, in a happy way, it's where we are. And I mean, if we win again today against West Ham, that'll be massive for us. That will put us on 43 points. We'll be ahead of City, ahead of Newcastle. They both dropped points. They both lost. Newcastle against Fulham, City against Arsenal yesterday. That was beautiful. But then you're really in a sticky situation where you're not really. I mean, it's very doubtful that we're going to catch up with Arsenal and Liverpool. I can see Nottingham Forest slipping up, but then again, they don't have the European football, the heavy rotation to have to worry about, playing Wednesday, Saturday fixtures regularly or Thursday, Sunday fixtures like we will at some point, because later in March that will come back. So it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. I can't call where we're going to finish. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said we finished 5th. But that was almost optimistic in thinking that English football clubs would do well in Europe and would still secure a Champions League. But you want that safety net of finishing in the top 4, then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, what's your take on it, Kev?
Top 4 depends on today. Simple as that. Top 4 depends on today. We go out and get a bit more squad depth and quality. I think we can do it. But if we have the same squad after today, I just can't see it be sustainable. I can't see Caicedo playing every Premier League game. So,
well, it's come out from reports that that's literally what we're planning on doing. Is we think that Fernandes and Caicedo can play every single week. That's what the reports have said. And I think that's according to, is it David Ornstein or the Athletic or someone on there? I read that and I don't know, it's just strange. But they must have sources saying this stuff, or unless they're just stirring the pot, which again you see a lot. Right, Kev, let's get into some of the transfers as well, though, because I mean we're talking all about what we like, what we don't like, but what's actually happening out there at the moment? What's actually happening? So we know that Borussia Dortmund have taken Karnik Chukwuemeka on loan with an option for 40 million to buy him. Now, knowing Borussia Dortmund and the way they do business, that is not a deal that I think they will follow up on. It doesn't really make sense from their perspective. The way that they do business, they buy cheap and they sell high. They did it with Bellingham, they did it with Haaland, they've done it with all these different players. So to buy a player like Chukwuemeka for 40 million, that it just seems like a loan deal that will probably be successful. I mean, they have a great record of developing these young players, but I can't see them following through with the 40 million on top of that. But it's good for Chukwuemeka's development, and then we're going to be looking to sell him on for a profit anyway. Bearing in mind, we paid, I think it was 19 million for Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa a couple of years ago. So we make, we'll double our money. But again, it's all about money. Comes back to the title again. This is not a footballing decision. And I'll tell you this, Kev, this is my opinion. I've said this for a while. I'm a big fan of Chukwuemeka. I think he's a better player than João Felix. I really do. I think that Chukwuemeka is more capable of playing in the system than a number of the players. Now, it is frustrating because we know he's never going to play ahead of Palmer, but it comes back again to management. Palmer played his best football last season on the right. So would you be able to, kick out Madueke from the starting 11, who, let's be honest, is not going to give you as much, put Palmer in a position we already know he can thrive in, to then accommodate one of your, good young players as well, we know who can contribute, and give Chukwuemeka more minutes, give Felix more minutes, give Nkunku more minutes. I mean, all of this stuff makes sense, but we're just seeing a lot of decisions at the moment where I struggle to make sense of it, if I'm honest. And I do think that Chukwuemeka will do well out on loan. There was also an agreement between Marseille and Chelsea for the loan of Anselm Mina, but Chelsea need to decide how to manage the loan spots. I don't think there's any further updates on that. Pies, he wants to get Victor Gyökeres in. I mean, I did a stream on this the other day. I don't think there's any chance.
Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming.
He's 26 as well, Kev. So, even though it's like a perfect age to sign a striker for any other club, for us, it's like, oh, well, he's over 25. No thanks.
It's stressful, bro. I'm just so. I just want to see us go out and get the best, man. Or at least get someone to compete with Jackson to give him a kick up the arse to push him on. And we're not. I'm hearing that Felix is being linked very closely to AC Milan now, going out alone.
It's all outgoings, Kev. So there's no talk about players coming in.
What was the point bringing him in the first place? I'm gobsmacked. What was the,
Kev. There's more. Oh my God. 6 minutes ago, DiMarzio. I'm going to have to share this tab instead. João Felix to AC Milan is getting closer. And look, there's another one. Caleb Wiley's proposed loan move to Watford from Chelsea is going through as planned. What is going on? Why is it all outgoings? Who's coming in?
They must have something. I think they must have something massive up their sleeve, brother. I can see us clearing off the wage structure, and they've got to have a big sign up their sleeve, brother. Because if it's not that, bro, and we don't get Champions League football, brother, I'm telling you now, it's time, brother. We got to start pushing for protest, brother. We've got to get these clowns out of the club, brother. Because I just don't get how you're going to sign João Felix for £45 million, not give him any minutes at all, not even give him a chance in number 9 to compete with Jackson. He's come off the bench and had 10, 15 minutes towards the back ends of games. I think he started one game against Ipswich, if I can remember, and then loan into AC Milan, brother. And then make AC Milan a stronger team as well at the same time, bro. Where was the thought process in it, bro? Where's the thought, brother?
Oh my
We could have utilised that £45 million if he didn't want to get and put him into a better player. If you see where I'm coming from, brother. So you're going to buy a player 45 million and loan him out where you could have used that £45 million to go and get a guy called Rez or a top striker.
Yeah. I just want to respond to some of the comments. The biggest problem is the manager will be the scapegoat at the end of the season. Then we'll be going through a rinse and repeat process again next season, which then brings you to the question, and I know a lot of people here will definitely disagree with me. Should we have just kept Poch? I mean, if that is what's going to happen. And actually, there's another question we addressed in the podcast. Could we have just kept Potter? And it's an interest. Yeah, no, we spoke about that as well. I'm not saying we should, but it's just a question I ask out there. Would we be in a better position with Graham Potter than if we had Enzo Maresca right now? If Potter was given 3 years to build on what we started with. Tim, did we even make a profit on Cassidy? No idea why we signed that guy. The answer is no, we haven't made a profit on him. Or if it is, it's very minimal. The profit will be made if Torino sell him, and then we will get 25% of that future sale. So initially it's not a profit, but that could be a profit in maybe 2, 3, 4 years' time. DJ Fred, I prefer Azpilicueta than this dude. I think he's talking about Robert Sanchez.
A reasonable lager.
What did I say?
Azpilicueta.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. A reasonable lager. Christian says a lot of news today that Chelsea will go for Kenan Yildiz for around 80 or 90 million euros in the summer. What an upgrade from Garnacho. I mean, it's cool, but it's all summer. So, I mean, we're more worried about January, if I'm honest with you.
Summer's not important right now. We're going to be playing in the Europa Conference League again, by the looks of it. So,
that's the thing. How are we going to put the money up for anyone without Champions League money at this rate? Seal says we should have put 60 million for the lap on the table and loaned them Mark Guiu. I don't think Ipswich would have turned us down. That's an interesting point. Niall says, watch us get a big injury. We need a top striker as well. We don't need wingers in the summer. There is Willian and Pies coming. I think Pies is going straight to Strasbourg. But Esteval Willian will come into the Chelsea squad as far as I'm aware. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Stephen, big up to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Big up to Big Tips as well. All right, another question. Panel, I'm asking you, what can we do collectively to bring our Chelsea back? As we know deep down, this clown-like owners will never change. I think you answered that question already, Kev. Protest. So, yeah, we'll see what happens at the bridge. Mateta, is that a realistic option, Kev? He scored against United. He scored 2, if I'm not wrong.
I like him. I like him. I like him a lot. He scored against us as well, as I can remember. But that's not the caliber of striker we want. Let's be real. He's at Crystal Palace for a reason. We need top class. Top 3 strikers in the world. That's what we should be aiming for. This is Chelsea. We're not looking for mid quality. But yeah, Mateta wouldn't be a bad squad option. But when you're looking for the top class players are going to get you 20 to 30, I don't think he's that guy. And that's what we need right now for us to close that gap on Liverpool. When you've got Salah, who's got, I think, 34 GAs already this season, and he's doing it consistently. We haven't got that. We got our hopes built up thinking Jackson's going to come on and have a good season. He's now not scored in how many games? 8 games, 9 games, hasn't scored. Hasn't even had a sniff in most games. Had a great opportunity against City where it was similar to the one in the League Cup. All he had to do was just tap it into the net, and he chooses to pass it back and lose the ball. So we have not got a top-class striker in his team. And until we've got one, I cannot see us challenging for the league. Champions League, massive possibility because I think most teams are that poor this year that it's going to be tight. But you can see the difference between Liverpool and the rest of the pack. It's because they've got a player which is going to score 20 or 30 and contribute with another 10 or 15 assists. So that's where we close the gap. Until we've got that, I don't think we'll be competing for the league for the foreseeable future.
You don't think we'll be competing for the league?
No.
Well, that's fair enough. That's it's not exactly an outlandish statement. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with what you're saying. Interesting as well when you talk about not Robert Sanchez, about Nicholas Jackson. If you look at so far this season, you know, he had a great start to the season. 2 GA against Wolves, goal against Palace, 3 GA against West Ham, followed it up against Brighton, a goal against Liverpool and Newcastle. Same thing, 2 games in a row here against Villa and Leicester, a goal against Brentford. And ever since Brentford, it's been a bit of a struggle. It really has. Not to say that he hasn't been involved in the past few games, because he's had assists, as you can see. He got one against Bournemouth and Man City as well. But you want to see your striker taking his chances. And against City, this could easily be a goal and an assist, or even 2 goals without the assist if he didn't square it to Madueke. You know, it could be a number of different things. I do think that, you know, Jackson's good enough for Chelsea, but I am in agreement for a lot of people that he's not good enough on his own for Chelsea. Just like if Drogba wasn't scoring a goal, at one point we would bring on Anelka, or you would bring on Crespo, or all of these other different options.
Solomon
Kalou, all of these different players. Yeah. And now we are starved of options. We don't have options, and we're limiting, you know. And actually, if you look at his stats over the season, they're not bad stats. And that's why I'm not a big hater on Nicholas Jackson, because, you know, I try not to look at it game by game. I look at it over the season. He's got over a 50% conversion rate if you look at his GA. We've had a lot fucking worse. A lot fucking worse. You know, you look at your Maratas, your Higuains, all of these shit strikers we've had. I prefer Jackson to all of them. I prefer Jackson to all of these guys. But does that mean that he's still the man? No, not necessarily. But I'm not a hater of Jackson. But he needs help. He can't do it all on his own.
If he can consistently put that ball in the back of the net and contribute every game, we're looking at potentially one of the best players in the Prem. I'm not going to be wishy-washy here, because at the start of the season, when he was banging in goals, I was jumping in the bandwagon as well. Like, oh yeah, right now he's top 3 striker in the Prem, this and that. There is potential to get there. But when you see the run he's gone on since the Brentford game, was it? And he's not scored in how many games? That's not acceptable. Acceptable to a striker. As a number 9, your primary target is to put the ball in the back of the net. If not 1 game, 2 game, but the 3rd or 4th game, you've got to start scoring again. You can't go on a run it 6, 7 games and not get a goal, and have opportunities to score as well. Like against City, where the goal was right in front of him. The goalkeeper's over there. The ball's come across by Palmer. All you have to do is tap it in with his left foot. He's obviously not comfortable with his left foot because he's controlled the ball and passed it back, brother. And we've seen that last season. The same thing happened in the FA Cup semi-final. So is this the quality that we're going to be working with, brother? I do believe in the long run that there is a top-class striker in there, but we haven't got the patience to be waiting to mould a top-class striker. We need a top-class striker now, brother, to get us competing with Liverpool and up the pack. Of course, right now, like I says, my understanding is that we was after what striker? It was after. I don't think we've even been linked with any strikers this January.
We have been linked with strikers. We've been linked with the lap. We've been linked with. We've been linked with these guys, but nothing's come to fruition. There's been no bids. We've been linked with the lap. We've been linked with Sesko. We've been linked with Goalkeeper, but nothing has come from that. You know that there's not been any concrete interest. I'll just touch on a comment from Christian. He says, "Am I missing something? You don't even have the confidence against West Ham. What a joke!" It's not that I don't have confidence against West Ham. I mean, I don't know about you, Kev. I think we can beat West Ham, but I lack confidence in our goalkeeper, and I think that he will cause us a problem. So I hope that's not the case, but it's not the whole team; it's the goalkeeper. So even with the minimal business that we've done, we have enough quality in this squad to get top 4. There's no doubt about that in my mind, because we've done so well at the beginning of the season. We've played great football. If our best players step up, then we're certainly going to be in the conversation. The problem is that we have some horrendous players as well. Well, a horrendous player. And he is going to be just as negative as our best players when they're playing well are going to be positive. So if Palmer scores a hat-trick, there is an opportunity for Sanchez to fuck that up and concede 2 with silly goals and put us in a position where we're really struggling. And that's the issue I have. And that goes back to the directors. It also goes to the manager. And I'm waiting just to see if Jorgensen's starting. I'll have a smile on my face if I see a different goalkeeper. That's my opinion on this.
Yeah, it just needs to happen, bro. It's blatant now. How long have we been discussing this topic about Sanchez in goal? It's not just been a couple of weeks. This has been since last season, brother. You see where I'm coming from? Last season into this season. It's been 2 seasons, brother. We've been talking about Sanchez, bro. And we signed about 5 other keepers since then, but Sanchez is still the number 1. What am I missing here, brother?
Yeah.
What? You know, and against City again, what is he doing coming out? What is he doing coming out that far out? When it was clear to see Chalobah was side to side with Haaland. Chalobah had it covered. I think he needed to be a bit stronger, getting across the striker to get the ball. But if he stays on his line, Haaland's going to have to take a touch and he's going to have to dribble and try and make an opportunity. You've come that far out off your touch line that he's shouldered by Chalobah off the ball. He's looked up and thinks over your head. What kind of goalkeeping are we seeing right now, brother? It's stupidity at its finest, brother. I don't get what, and this is the same thing that's happening every week, brother. It's not just a once in the blue thing. It's a consistent thing we're seeing. So why is he still starting, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I
just really don't get it, brother. I just don't. And then it's the same thing with if it's the same continuous conversation we have when we see Disasi playing right back. We haven't to see the same bullshit for months and months and months. Where under another regime of Roman Abramovich, these topics have been nipped in the bud ASAP. But we're going into it. This is the second season of seeing Disasi playing right back. The second season of seeing Sanchez. The second season of seeing Jackson miss chance after chance after chance, and we're not changing nothing. It's the chance, last day of the transfer window, and we're still having to see the same bollocks going into the end of the season, brother. They're not looking at the problems and the weaknesses and addressing them, brother. And this is my doubts with them. You know, if it was happening, if it happened once or twice, yeah, you can say, you know what, But when it's happening over a 2-year period, brother, and you're not addressing them, there's clearly something going on upstairs that they're not seeing it, brother. They are not seeing it. We can see it.
Yeah. We didn't even mention. There's so much going on. You know that there is one player we are looking at, and according to Fabrizio Romano, we're willing to pay an important fee for Nico O'Reilly. We see him as a top talent. City want a buyback clause or matching rights for the player. I don't think we've had any other updates on him today as of yet. I mean, I'll keep looking. But yeah, I mean, he's the only one that I do think will probably submit a bid for him. But then again, it just seems strange to me because you have these players like Oguchukwu and Santos that you can recall for nothing, and yet you're still willing to go out and spend a lot of, well, let's just presume we spend anything like we spent on Palmer, £40 million or whatever it is, which is not unrealistic. Why wouldn't you just spend that on a striker? Why wouldn't you get a Delap or someone who does fit your age bracket in terms of a young striker, has proved that he can perform in the Premier League for at least half a season, and is a total opposite to Jackson in terms of what he can offer you, which is basically exactly what you want. And we're still looking at positions where we could sort that out ourselves. It's just like the goalkeeper. We could sort that out ourselves. We could bring Jorgensen in. We could recall Petrovic. There are so many easy options that we have in those two positions, and we're making it complicated for ourselves while doing nothing in the most important one.
Yeah, I've seen your links to this guy, and to be fair to you, brother, I'm not going to feel like it's a negative transfer, because I was saying the same thing against Cole Palmer when we signed Palmer. What we're doing signing this youngster, and look what he's done. So in the long run, it may not be a bad signing, but it's not what we need right now, brother. We need experience, bro. We need an experienced player to help the other guys out. This O'Reilly geezer, it's a gamble. It's a gamble, isn't it? It might come in, he might not do so well. It might be another Calcedo kind of transfer. You just never know. We need it. I was looking at Douglas Luiz from Juventus because he hasn't really had a good season there, and apparently he's not happy. Go and get him on a loan deal. Give us a bit of a Prem experience that we need, brother. You know.
This is an interesting point from Ricky as well. He says the reason we haven't recalled Leslie Ugochukwu is because the owners want to sign Dibbling and don't want to upset Southampton. It's all about the potential and value, not about success. I mean, that seems like something that we probably would do. So I have to agree with Ricky on that. And if that is a factor, then it's just strange. It's just fucking strange. But why would Dibbling want to come to us if we've got no Champions League football when you have other clubs that will also pay the money? I don't know. I just think it's there you go. Rain says it well. Friendship over success. But yeah, I mean, there is another outgoing as well. We haven't even spoken about Disasi. I mean, the good thing is we're trying not to strengthen Aston Villa, which I think is something at least. We've rejected a £6 million loan offer from Aston Villa for Disasi. Now, I think any other club would accept that, but because we're competing for top four, we don't want to strengthen them.
But are we strengthening them with Disasi?
I think we are. Yeah, I think we are, because I think Disasi would fit what they're trying to do. Yeah, Disasi's a good centre back. He's not a bad centre back. He's just not built for this system. He's not built for this system. It's like I don't know. You know, you've just got certain players that play well with certain managers. And I think that Disasi will be okay at Villa, to be totally honest with you. But you know, he was okay under Poch last year. He had his good games and he had his bad games. But under Maresca, it was never going to work. I mean, it was a poor signing, to be fair, when we already had players that we could have put in there, like Chalobah, for example. Let's just say we kept Chalobah and didn't send Disasi. What was the point of trying to make profit off of Chalobah in the first place when you're going to sell Disasi anyway? It's just stupid.
You just said the word with a profit. That's it. Well, they'd rather see our team with mid players to make to line their pockets, bro. That's it. This is it now, brother. Like there's no more questioning the ambition of the club. We all know where we at, brother. Profit over anything. That's it. And deep down as Chelsea fans, it's either we act upon it if we don't get Champions League football, or there's no point us complaining about it anymore. We just get on with it, brother. Go to the games and expect your goalkeeper to fucking make mistakes. This is it, brother. It's either we do something about it, or we're just going to see the club making profit, and we're not going to be competing for anything, bro. And you just said it then. So
yeah. I've got another update for you guys on a player that we were linked with, Matthias Tell. He is going to Tottenham on loan. There's no buy option. There's an agreement reached between the clubs. Bayern has accepted the player's decision. And yeah, he's on his way to Spurs. So another player that we were linked with. Do you think a loan would have helped us, Kev? Or
I don't. It's not what we need, bro. It's not the caliber of striker. We don't need another pacey striker who's going to get in behind. We have got Jackson that can do that job. We need a striker that's going to sit in the 6-yard box and just put the ball in the back of the net. That's it. We need a striker that can get on there. There's that many crosses that we've had this year, and we've not had a striker to get on the end of them. Tal doesn't not fit that mold of striker we're looking for. So I believe it would have been a pointless loan deal and a pointless transfer if we was going to make the deal happen. So I'm happy. He probably is going to suit Tottenham's system. I don't know, but I'm happy that he's not coming to us. I just don't feel like he's the striker that we need right now.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the comments as well. It's we had such a peaceful start to the season, Kev. The first few months were so peaceful, weren't they? Everything was happy, and now there you go. 100% protest if we don't make Champions League. No excuse for the amount of money they've spent. Bring in more money makes fuck all difference to us. I mean, you make a very valid point, Tim. You make a very valid point. Kev, you're right. We need players who want to play for the club. This is the other thing, though. These players did want to play for the club, and they were here for such a short period, and now they want to leave. Is this some sort of coincidence, or is this becoming a reoccurring theme? The same thing that happened with, Pochettino as well. One season at the club, he falls out with the ownership. You've got a number of players like João Felix, who we signed in the summer. He's linked with a move away to Milan. He clearly wants to go. Why is it that everyone's got such a short fuse with us? What are we doing to push players into the situation where they feel like they have to leave? Because you get a lot of other players who aren't necessarily really happy at the club, but they don't push for a leave straight away. But that's not been the case with us. It's just been, I'm off straight away. I don't know. There's got to be something going on.
I think we all know what's going on, brother. The club's it's been run from top to bottom. It's a complete joke, bro. They can see it every day. They go to Cobham every single day, and they can see what's going on, brother. We haven't got that. We haven't got the access to go behind the scenes and see how it's run. They obviously see what's happening, and that's why everybody wants out. Look, Viega wanted out, Felix wants out, and Kunku wants out. All these players were out. Is it to do with the management? I don't believe it's to do with the management. Is it to do with the players around them? No, I think it's because the board and how the club's being run. That they have no belief in this club and where it's going and where this, it's only a matter of time before Palmer's going to be wanting that and these other players going to be wanting that, brother. And I'll tell you now, if a team comes up with the money, Palmer's gone, bro. Because
fuck right.
No. Do you really think this club?
If Palmer goes.
Yeah. Do you think really? Do you think these club, the board, give a shit if a team come in for 120 million pounds and they're going to double up their money on the player Palmer? Palmer's going to probably want out. They'll sell him, brother. They will sell him, brother. This is the way the club's run. You've said it yourself. It's run on profit. So do you believe that? There you go. So there you go. So it's not, if we don't get Champions League football, it's just going to open up. It's just going to be tough, bro. And we're not going to be able to sign the players. The guy Corres, he think he's going to want to come to us with no Champions League football. So we're not going to be able to get top acquisitions like that. Players are going to want out. Top players are going to want out. Who are we going to replace them with? Mid players once again. It's going to be the same pattern. Get these youth players in, develop them, sell them on. We are now like the new Brighton FC, brother. That's where we are, bro. That's where we are.
Speaking of profit, shout out to the sponsors, Stocks FC. Yeah, guys, if you fancy going on there, you can showcase your ball knowledge and show your mates that you're not just going to beat them on fantasy football. You'll pick the right players and actually make a few quid on Stocks FC as well. You can buy and sell your favorite players as stocks and shares. If you have any intelligence, you probably won't buy Robert Sanchez, but hey ho, you can still do that. Check them out. There's a QR code on screen which you can scan, as well as a link in the description. Big up to Stocks FC as well. Let me know how you guys get along and if you make any money as well. So big shout out to them. And yeah, we've got another 5 minutes, Kev. So I mean, yeah, the transfers, as you can see, guys, it's pretty underwhelming. It's pretty underwhelming. But listen, Kev, we've got 5 minutes to talk about West Ham as well. What's your score predictions from that? And also, guys, as well, smash that like button. We've got 166 of you in the building. Can we get up to 140 likes on the video? If you haven't already smashed that like button, please do. It helps the channel. It shows us that you're enjoying what we're doing, and we will continue to do as much as we can. And yeah, put your score predictions as well in the chat. I mean, for me, Kev, I think if we get Sanchez in, I think we'll draw. I think if Sanchez is in the game, I don't think we'll win. I think we'll draw. I think if Sanchez is dropped, then we might end up getting a win. I'm seeing maybe a 2-1 Chelsea with Jorgensen in goal. I'm going to go 1-1 with Sanchez.
Yeah, I feel like if it was Lou Bugatti, West Ham.
Lupategi, mate.
Lupategi, West Ham. I think with the high line that he liked to play with, there would have been opportunities to really won that game convincingly. A bit similar to the game at the Olympic Stadium. On the Potter, you know, he's very rigid in the way he sets up. Not very much spacing behind. He likes to build out from the back, as we see with ourselves. He will have a point to prove. He will have these players what's what I'm looking for. He will have them well G'd up, let's say, for this game, because he knows with a win against us at the Bridge, he will walk out that stadium the happiest man in England, knowing that he's put one over. The way we treated him as fans, you know, Potter out banners, and it was horrible for him. So it's going to be a tight game. I can't see us winning this game like we did in the reverse fixture. 3-0? Was it 3-0? Was it 3-0? 4-0?
3-0.
3-0. So I can't see it being a scoreline like that. I can see us winning. I feel like West Ham have been that poor this season that, you know, I don't think Potter can do any magic there. I'd say 2-1 Chelsea. There's going to be a goal
without Sanchez.
With Sanchez. I know he's going to start, bro. I know he's going to start.
If he's not a factor, no, but you don't. Maresca said, right? He said Sanchez can't continue making these mistakes. He said he can't.
Yeah.
So he's insinuating that
he can. He fucking can.
Fucking can.
He can.
If you don't know what that is, guys, I will pull up.
He fucking, mate. He really can, and he has. He can, and he has. And I know tonight when I look at my my app, and I'm going to see Sanchez starting, brother. I know it. I know it.
It can. Oh, here we go. I've got to play it. Haven't I? Let's have some fun.
And I'm starting to believe, brother.
Hang on, Kev.
Yeah.
In terms of results, Mick, 1 win in 17. It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
It fucking can.
And brother, and I'm actually starting to believe every moment But this is the reason why he's starting Sanchez. If you can see the
Oh
picture
no,
there.
Kev, get out of the screen.
I am. I don't even believe that's AI, bro. It's why. I just don't know. I just don't know. But I know Sanchez is starting, and I know we're going to concede, and I think we can outscore them. So I'll say 2-1. 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1. Well, I'm going 2-1 West Ham with I'm going 1-1 with Sanchez, 2-1 Chelsea without Sanchez. That's my score predictions. Big up to everyone that's been watching the live show. Smash the like button again if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow evening for the next live show. That will be who's doing that one? I will find out quickly. Lewis will be doing the live show on Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? What the fuck am I doing? What, Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, tomorrow 8 o'clock. Lewis will be live. So jump on that one. And big up to everyone that's been watching. It's been a bit of a torrent January, but hopefully we can have something to shout about today. And we will catch up very soon. All the best, guys. Speak soon.